Welcome back to Quest Collective TV. It's your boy Mike, and you know this is the one place with all the travel news for us. The landscape is shifting under our feet. From the new rules that can affect our families to our money not stretching as far as it used to. Just showing up, figuring out on the fly, it's not the same anymore. This week's theme is all about being a proactive traveler. It's about staying 2 steps ahead. Also, I'm breaking down a major U.S. visa change you need to tell your family about immediately. A critical safety alert in South America and what to do about this weaker dollar. But we're also going to talk about our power and influence. Because y'all know how we do. We get this intel, we plan, we keep moving. So let's get it. All right, listen up, because this is going to be one of the most important stories of the week. And it's going to affect so many of us who have family, friends, and business partners trying to come to the United States. I need to get your full attention on this one. The United States Department of State is making a major change to its visa process. Effective September 2nd, 2025, which is just a couple weeks away, they're bringing back mandatory in-person interviews for non-immigrant visa applications. Here's the thing. For many years, people, especially those who are renewing visas, could get an interview waiver. That made the process faster and smoother. That convenience is basically gone. Who does it hit the hardest? It hits people from countries who aren't in the visa waiver program. We're talking about a vast majority of the nations in the Caribbean, in Africa, and Latin America. This directly impacts our diaspora, our aunties, our cousins, our grandparents, and anybody else who's a part of the diaspora. The biggest consequence is going to be time. Getting an appointment for a visa interview at the U.S. Embassy can already take months. With this change, the backlog is going to explode. We're talking about potentially mass delays. Someone who might have gotten an interview in a few weeks could now take the better part of a year. So here's your immediate actionable advice. If you have anyone planning to visit you from one of these countries, you need to call them, text them, WhatsApp them tonight. Tell them it's time to start that visa application process right now. Not next month, not next week, now. They need to get on it before it's damn near impossible to get a visa. Don't let this catch your family off guard. Proactive planning is the only way to navigate this. We've dropped a link to the State Department's travel site in the description so you can get on it and get the official details and start working on that ASAP. All right, starting off with top alerts. Here are a few quick things you need to have on your radar for this week. First, the U.S. Embassy in Guatemala City issued a security alert for the commercial area of Zone 16. They say they have credible information about threats of inter-gang violence. If you're there, exercise extreme caution and be aware of your surroundings at all times. Don't be predictable in your movements, i.e., don't walk the same routes that you always walk. Switch it up. Don't leave your place at the same time. I don't know if you're staying there long term. I would think if you're staying there long term, you know how to move and you kind of have your ear to the streets or whoever. They might say, hey, it's getting kind of crazy out here. It's Guatemala City. If you've been to Guatemala, comment below and let me know how it is out there. Next, let's talk about money. Money. Yes, let's talk about this money. If you got an international trip planned, especially to Europe or Asia, your budget might need a second look. The US dollar is about 10% weaker than it's been. That means your money don't go as far as it once did. Expect meals, tours, and transportation to cost you 8 to 14% more. The strategy here is to take advantage of the airfares that are cheaper during the summer, but also add some cushion to your budget or your on-the-ground budget. All right, because that's where you're gonna spend the most. All right, a pro tip is try to prepay for things before you go on your trip, but make sure they're from accredited sites and you know you're not gonna get there and they're gonna play stupid. You don't wanna get there and be like, damn, normally this costs this, now I gotta pay double. We see an 8 to 14% rise of prices on everything. Here's a quick tip. Turn your VPN on, put the location into the country that you're gonna visit. Then open up another browser in incognito mode. Sometimes that change the price a little bit because it'll give you a local price. Just saying, it doesn't always work, but it works sometimes. All right, one last look ahead for the week. For all of us with the motherland on our bucket list, places like Kenya, Morocco, Zanzibar, they're making changes to preserve their culture and environment. What this means is they might have some restrictions on self-drive safaris or independent travel in the coming years. The takeaway, if those destinations are high on your list, 2025 might be the year to plan that trip because you never know how access may change. Now, with all these changes, it could be easy to get discouraged, but that's not how our community moves. In fact, we're responding by organizing and leveraging our collective power. A new study dropped showing that U.S. black leisure travel spent an estimated $145 billion. Yes, billion. And we only represent 11% of the U.S. leisure travel market. Don't let anyone tell you our presence isn't felt. And here's the most powerful part. The study found that half of us now belong to organized travel groups. Groups like Black Travel Movement, Black Women's Travels, and Quest Collective. This isn't just about finding a good vibe, it's a strategy. It's how we ensure we feel safe and welcome. It's how we support Black-owned businesses in the places that we visit. And in a time where the weaker dollar makes things more expensive, travel groups help us bring down the cost. This is us creating our own solutions, building our own tables, and taking control of our own travel experience. Beautiful to see. It's amazing to see how we adapt to certain situations. All right, Quest Collective family, let's recap on the playbook for this week. 1. If you have friends or family overseas planning to visit the U.S., time to apply for that visa yesterday. Get that message out. 2. Revisit your international budget and account for the weaker dollar. Plan for higher costs on the ground. 3. Remember our collective power. Plug into the community, travel in groups, and continue to explore the world safely and unapologetically. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Have you had any recent experiences with the visa process for your family? Or what's your favorite Black travel group you've traveled with? Let's share resources. Thank you for tuning in this week of Quest Collective TV. Again, I'm your host, Mike. Once again, it was a pleasure being with you. Have a good evening, good day, or good night. Peace.